All right, one of the many wacky dinguses.
Nope, done. Thank you.
That we make fun of on this channel. His name's Tuck Carlson, and he's been saying some weird stuff this week. So let's check it out.
We're going tonight, a quick piece of news from the world of big tech. We spent the day hearing from quite a few old college classmates, in some cases people we've been out of touch with for 30 years. It was nice, but here was the occasion for it. Jeff Bezos had one of his minions, a mentally unbalanced middle-aged man called Eric Wempel.
A mentally unbalanced middle-aged man.
Pull our dusty college yearbook and call around to see if we'd done anything naughty at the age of 19. That sounds like fun. Let us know if you hear any good stories. But before Bezos drops any more of his billions on
I barely know who this guy... I mean, I just found out about this guy from this story. This reporter, this Washington Post reporter, who I guess, like, found this thing that we'll talk about in a second. I mean, I don't think this guy cares because he thinks his viewers are idiots, but I love the phrase mentally unbalanced middle-aged man is great. And then the picture they show of him with his mouth like half open. This is a classic move that a lot of these guys do, where it's like they'll show a picture of someone who's like, you know, whatever, playing a clip of them. And to show just how crazy these people are, these people who aren't being nice to people like Tucker Carlson, they'll show a picture of the guy's like,
opposition research, you should know that it will not affect any election outcome. This is a news show. It's not a political campaign. No one here is running for anything or plans to. On the other hand, if Jeff Bezos wants to come over to reminisce about 1987 on this show, he's always welcome anytime.
So if you didn't catch that, he's like, Jeff Bezos had his minions dig up a story about me. That's a very grandiose way of saying a reporter found some pretty creepy stuff about this guy, which, shocking. This guy said something creepy? What? No way. I don't believe it. Tucker Carlson's college yearbook says he belonged to a club for Harvey Milk's murderer. He also referenced the Jesse Helms Foundation, named for the staunchly anti-gay conservative senator. So just a really quick summary of this here. Fox News host Tucker Carlson identified himself as being part of the, quote, Dan White Society, unquote. In his 1991 Trinity College yearbook entree, Dan White was the name of the man who killed San Francisco Mayor George Moscone and Supervisor Harvey Milk, California's first openly gay elected official in 1978. So from what I read, this story is so goofy, but from what I read, there's no such thing as the Dan White Society at this school. So it was kind of just like, like your typical, like, I don't like gay people kind of like little joke or whatever. But there's something actually like even kind of more bizarre and kind of funny about this, which is the Dan White story itself. So this guy White was a supervisor in San Francisco. He's on the board of supervisors in San Francisco. And he stepped down from the board, I guess, because he kept getting into arguments with people. And he was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And I'll just read you a little bit from Wikipedia. White had opened a baked potato stand at Pier 39, which failed to become profitable. He reversed his resignation on November 14th, 1978, after his supporters lobbied him to seek reappointment. So he wanted his job back, basically. The potato stand didn't work out, so he tried to get his job back. So basically, Harvey Milk and some other people who worked for the San Francisco city government were like, don't, this guy's crazy, don't have him back, don't get him back. And then he decided he was going to go to City Hall and kill these people. So he was an absolute loser, this guy. An absolute demented loser. So what it seems like, I could be wrong here, but Tuck Carlson put this thing like, this guy, I support this guy who shot the one of the first openly gay city officials. Yeah, no gays, you shoot him. But he's like accidentally siding with like one of the biggest losers and lunatics in the political history, basically. This is really interesting too because part of what happened in this trial was the origin of the term the Twinkie defense. The Twinkie defense, which is from what I understand is now kind of understood as a ridiculous argument in court, like a ridiculous sort of catch-all argument. But so basically what happened is this guy, Dan White, had to go to court because he murdered two people. He murdered Harvey Milk and another guy. And part of this guy's defense was he was really sad and depressed. He was really sad and depressed because his potato stand didn't work. This is not a joke. This is all real. He was really sad and depressed because he couldn't make money and his potato stand wouldn't work out. So he started eating junk food, sugary sodas and sweet treats. By the way, I haven't murdered anybody. So he's eating all these sweet treats and Twinkies and stuff, and he felt so bad that he wasn't thinking right because of all the treats, and he went and murdered Harvey Milk and another guy.
Nope, done. Thank you.
So actually, this guy, I totally could imagine Tucker Carlson being in an organization dedicated to this guy. Oh boy, this guy, Dan White, quite the story. So he has to serve a couple of years. He serves like 5 years in prison for murdering these two guys. The Twinkie defense works. He serves 5 years in prison. Then the mayor of Dianne Feinstein, the mayor of San Francisco, is like, hey, don't come back to San Francisco. But somehow he comes back to San Francisco anyway. And I'll just read the part from Wikipedia. It's pretty funny. While eventually he did move back to San Francisco and he attempted to rebuild his life with his wife and children, but his marriage soon ended. Oh my God. Then he killed himself. So I think this fits. I think this fits for Tuck. I mean, who knows? Maybe Tuck had like a better sense of humor when he was this age. You know, he's like a college kid and he's like, this guy was a complete disaster. He murdered two people. And his life was a complete disaster. I'll like pretend to like be for a part of an organization for him. But like, let's be real. Like the vibe that I think we all immediately get is like, he's like, he killed a gay guy. He killed the most prominent public gay guy. Good. But he didn't really look too much more into this guy that he was a utter mess.
You're kind of like a snotty-faced bitch.
That guy was a bit of a snotty-faced bitch and also a...
Bad Barbie, bad Barbie, bad Barbie.
Who knows? This weird guy could have, maybe he has a sense of humor. Maybe he actually has a pretty decent sense of humor. But I would guess probably not. I could totally see probably not. He also put Jesse Helms Foundation, so it looks like he was just trying to do anti-gay stuff in his stupid little yearbook. All right, here's another funny one from one of our favorite...
Bad Barbie.
This one's pretty great, too. Here we go.
And you see them everywhere when you walk down the street in any major city. If you dare to go on foot from Union Station to the Capitol, for example, in Washington without wearing a mask, angry Biden voters will snort at you in judgment. How could you? They're saying from behind the gauze.
So the point of this segment is he kind of makes the point, if you see somebody outside with them wearing a mask, harass them. And he's saying, like, if you, I guess he's like saying if you get off the bus or get off the train in a crowd, look, here's the thing, okay? Do you really need to wear a mask outside? Especially if you're like, you got vaccinated or you probably don't really need to wear a mask outside most of the time. If you're like in a very crowded city, like he's kind of describing, you might want to, okay? And I did a little research on this. I'll put a link. There's like a National Geographic thing where they interviewed some doctors. And they basically said, like, yeah, if you're in a crowded area, even if it's outside, the likelihood of you catching it goes way down if you're outside. That's true. But they're like, yeah, but if you're in a packed area with a bunch of people, you might want to throw on a mask. So it's like, when I see somebody like in their car alone wearing a mask, I'm like, you probably don't need to do that. You could probably take the mask off, friend. But that's about that's about as much thought as I put into it. But to him and his fans, this is like, they're really getting their little underwear in a twist over this.
How could you? That's the question we should be asking of them in return. The rest of us should be snorting at them first. They're the aggressors. It's our job to brush them back and restore the society we were born in.
We got to restore the society we were born in. It really is like the people who watch this are just tall babies. I want things to be like when I was born. It's quite literal now. They're quite literally tall babies. When I was born, me personally, when I was a little kid, video games were all like 8-bit or 1-bit or 2-bit. Why is it not like that anymore? I want things to be like just stay exactly the same from when I was born. All of it, including technology. Okay? Is that okay?
No.
Oh, man. Come on.
Toilet.
Restore the society we were born in. Restore the society we were born into. Things are changing. Things are changing, 90-year-old viewer, and you should be afraid.
So the next time you see someone in a mask on the sidewalk or on the bike path, do not hesitate. Ask politely but firmly, would you please take off your mask?
Yes, please. If you're watching this, please do this and videotape it.
Science shows there is no reason for you to be wearing it. Your mask is making me uncomfortable.
Hey, I know you're just trying to ride your mountain bike down a trail, and for some reason you decided to wear a mask. Probably because you're in some major city, and there's like people all around and people's dogs. What's the deal with people's dogs? Like the town where I live in, you can't swim in the water because it's filled with dog doo-doo. Are people just kicking? Their dog takes a dump and they just kick it into the lake? Anyway, that's a little bit of an aside.
No.
But so some goofball is wearing his mask on his mountain bike. You stand get in front of the bike, so you block him off and say, "That mask, take it off. Rip off that mask, because I'm for freedom, my own freedom to feel exactly the way I want and to see things around me the exact way I want them to be in my head, which is how it was when I was born." His like, it's funny because his audience, like, they really do feel like this. They're like, why isn't everything that I see exactly the way I want to see it, with no exceptions and no compromise? I'm a giant baby, a coddled baby. I'm 80 years old.
We should do that, and we should keep doing it until wearing a mask outside is roughly as socially accepted as lighting a Marlboro in an elevator.
You know what? I'm going to start being this entitled. Like, hey, your mask is making me uncomfortable, even though it affects me in literally no way. Your mask, I don't like seeing that. I'm going to do my version of that, which is like, why aren't you wearing a cool-looking, funny-looking wig? Why aren't you wearing a funny-looking wig and like a white suit while you're riding your mountain bike?
It's repulsive. Don't do it around other people. That's the message we should send because it's true. As for
it's repulsive. It is. Like, him and the people who watch this, I mean, obviously this is all like distraction from real issues. This is my politics. What exactly are the policies here? You know what they are. Masks make me sick because it's not like how it was when I was born. Yeah, like we all know this. Probably even him and his viewers know this, right? Like if somebody's, let's go to the most funny example. Like somebody's alone in their car with the windows down, wearing a mask, or with the windows up, whatever, wearing a mask. You're like, that's kind of weird, and that's it. And then you go to Jamba Juice. Okay? That's it. That's the correct view. Oh, that's kind of weird. They probably don't need a mask in that situation. That's about it. But these people are so, the tough guys, the tough guys. These are the tough guys who watch this guy's channel, they're like just so super upset because somebody's doing something that's mildly, at absolute worst, like 0.1% mildly irritating. Actually, I did go to a Jamba Juice like 2 days ago, and both the person, this is a tiny space, by the way, and both the people working there and one of the customers were doing the thing where they had a mask, but the mask is just like dripping down their face, like just to throw it away. Just throw the mask away. You're not wearing the mask. Just throw it away. You know? Don't even... That's the true annoyance, right? That's the true thing of like what you're doing is kind of just disgusting me, making me mad. Because you have a mask. You know what you're supposed to be doing. Cover that thing over your stupid sourpuss, you dope. But instead it's just like draping. Like it's even worse than not having a mask. Because you're like, you have it. You know you're supposed to have it. Somebody coughed up a mask to you. And you're just like... You even have it, and you can't just do the little motion of covering your dumb snout with it. I don't know, because the theory with like why would anyone watch this crap? Not only is anyone watching it, but it's like the most popular cable news channel in the history of the planet. And the common, psychological explanation. It's like, like people are not doing real politics. They're not doing things where it's actually based in policy and improving people's lives and making progress. So instead, it's this kind of fake pro wrestling thing of like, oh, there's one side is like, wear a mask. And the other side is just like, masks are stupid. And that's politics in the United States. That's one explanation. But I think a lot of Fox News viewers and people who kind of like this kind of media, I think part of it is just like they get a little rush from someone saying something that's like stupid. Like, oh, you're not allowed to say this. Like, oh, no, you're not allowed to say this. Is it stupid? Yes, but you're not allowed. But he's saying it, so I get a little rush. I think that it's a lot of that. Just people kind of being bored idiots. And so they watch this and they're like, he says it and I can't because my wife will tell me to shut up. I'm almost not joking. Like, I think it is probably a good portion of the viewers. What's going on in their head is like, my wife says I have to wear a mask. Or my daughter who goes to college says, hey, Dad, put the mask over your dumb puss, you idiot. And I hate them. They're oppressing me. I'm the most oppressed man in the history of the world. But Tuck Carlson makes me feel better. That's got to be what's going on for a large portion of these ding-dongs. These pudding heads who watch this.
For forcing children to wear masks outside, that should be illegal. Your response when you see children wearing masks as they play should be no different from your response to seeing someone beat a kid in Walmart.
Really, buddy? That's almost too far for this guy. Like, his whole show is like, I'm going to think of the stupidest thing I can to say and say it. But your response of a kid so a kid could be wearing a mask. Let's just walk through this. Let's take this seriously, right? Does that make any sense?
No.
So there's a kid like at a school. Schools tend to be a little bit crowded, even playgrounds. You're outside. There's all these kids are huddled around like ants. They're like rats, kids. They're like, it's like a king rat when you see a bunch of kids crowding around in a playground. Just a bunch of dirty little rats spreading disease. That's the way I see children. That's not true. I love kids. But you see, so the kids are all around, and according to doctors, it's like, yeah, you're less likely to catch the disease, but if you're crowded around people, makes it a little bit more likely, might want to wear a mask. That's it. Pretty simple. You see a kid wearing a mask, that's the same as if you saw somebody beating their kid at Walmart. Hey, yeah, excuse me, I noticed you were just beating your kid in the notebooks and pens section of Walmart. I just have to ask you, was that kid wearing a mask? Oh, he was. Oh, okay, then keep it. Beat on. Go ahead. Have a nice day. Bye. Oh, he was wearing a mask on a playground. I was going to step in, tell you to stop beating your kid. Do you mind if I get a quick punch or kick in on that 10-year-old? I just got that feeling like I'm making fun of comedy. I think if people do watch this, it's a show as comedy.
Call the police immediately. Contact Child Protective Services. Keep calling until someone arrives. What you're looking at is abuse. It's child abuse, and you are morally obligated to attempt to prevent it. If it's your own...
Yeah, hi. I got a big emergency. Is this Child Protective Services? Oh, no, it's Papa John's. Oh, okay, sorry. I misdialed. Hi, and then I call again. Hi, is this Child Protective Services? I got a huge emergency. There's a kid on a playground wearing masks. Yes, I know. Kids are like rats. But it makes me very uncomfortable. Can you come help? Also, I saw some guy beating his kid at Walmart. But anyway, this kid's wearing a mask on a playground. Rush over here, please. Then maybe on the way back we could stop at that Walmart. Maybe, if we have time, we could stop by that Walmart and stop that guy, intervene from that guy brutally beating his kid in the towel section of Walmart. I don't think we're going to have time, though, to be honest. Okay? I don't think we're going to have time. You know what I mean?
Children being abused, then act accordingly. Let's say your kid's school emailed you to announce that every day after lunch, your sixth grader was going to get punched in the face by a teacher. How would you respond to that? That's precisely how you should respond when they tell you that your kids have to wear masks on the soccer field. That is unacceptable, it is dangerous, and we should act like it, because it is. But too few of us have responded like that.
Too few of us are obnoxious and annoying in America. It's simply not the case. If you drive through this country and you meet people and you go into like strip malls and stuff, just people are not being annoying enough. We really got to ramp that up. We got to turn up the dial on being obnoxious. We got to really turn up the dial. We got to turn up the heat on being just totally annoying and insufferable for petty, stupid reasons. There's just not enough of that in suburban America. Not at all. I'll be totally honest, okay? Like, I think this whole clip, I was like, this is funny. Like, it's almost like I do feel like I'm making fun of comedy. So, there we go. One of our nation's greatest living satirists. And of course, we always, whenever we talk about this guy or do a video about him, we gotta mention probably one of the best interviews of all time when he interviewed Britney Spears after she kissed Madonna at the VMA. She kissed Madonna, and then Madonna kissed Christina Aguilera. So it's like, Madonna transferred the spit from Britney Spears to, yeah, you get it. I'm 10 years old. And his little bow tie almost started spinning when he was like, will you kiss more ladies on TV, please? And he got all sweaty, and his big pudgy face started glistening because he was getting so worked up and excited asking Britney Spears about this kissing other women stuff. And it's one of the greatest moments on TV, and we really cherish it, There are these great moments frozen in time on TV. When I Love Lucy was shoving all those chocolates into her stupid face. When O.J. Simpson was running around. When that Led Zeppelin balloon was catched on fire. All of these beautiful moments on TV. And you got to add that one to the list. Tucker Carlson, his little bow tie got in a twist when he was, started sweating and heavy breathing over Britney Spears kissing Madonna and the VMAs. And Justin Timberlake made a really upset face. One of the greatest moments of TV, and for that, we're forever in debt to the great satirist, Tucker Carlson.
Nope, done. Thank you. Bad Barbie, bad Barbie, bad Barbie.
Hey everybody, and thanks so much for watching this video. Like all the other YouTube and podcast perverts, I now have a Patreon. Here you can get daily access to the audio-only feed. And every week on this Patreon, I'm uploading 2
exclusive
Patreon-exclusive shows. They're like real shows, more produced, more edited. One of them is a behind-the-scenes show where I reveal all the secrets and YouTube scams that I'm doing. And the other one, I just reveal my innermost dark, cringe secrets. So if that's something that you are interested in, check it out.
on Patreon.com.
I'll put a link in the, what is the thing called? In the description, I guess. So thank you so much, even if you don't. Thanks for watching this video. I know it's hard to get through these things, but I appreciate you.